So today we bolt some rusty scrap onto some more rusty scrap. So the Toyota's back. Now it's not coming back for road duty, but it's coming back for road maintenance duty. So we've got this plow, which I picked up a couple years ago for it was either $5 or $10 at the auction. Now it's not in the greatest of shape, and of course it's just the front part here, and there's no hydraulic lift or anything like that included. It's got a couple of rust holes, so it'll match the truck. So it's a 6.5 foot wide plow, which will be perfect for a mini truck like that. We can fix that later. So ever since I've had this thing, I've been keeping an eye out for an attachment or a universal mount or something we can make work. But everything either comes with just this plow or it's the whole setup, and it's way more money than I want to spend. So we're going to try and make this thing fit onto there with just scrap material. So there's a bit of space to work with on that frame. Now the one thing we're going to end up buying is a winch, because we need something to actually raise this up and down automatically. The angle, we can just put a pin in there. We'll make it manually adjustable. Now it's actually fired up pretty easily. However, the tires are getting to the point that they barely hold air. And we still got to replace that water pump. I mean, we might have to do something about the brakes too. I mean, those might help while plowing. Yeah, we scored some half-good wiper blades out of the trash. So luckily I picked up a pump a while back, and it's just been sitting in here waiting. I tell you, never thought we'd be throwing new parts at this thing. Idler pulley needed a fix. Stealing tires off some parts trucks. Some assembly required on these ones. So there's the start of the bracket. One big main angle across the front, and a couple of supporting ones that bolt onto the underside of the frame. Now unfortunately the spacing between these two angles didn't match up with the lugs on the plow. It's just a little bit short. So we'll have to make an extra couple of mounting lugs that extend out the front. So we're getting the plow lug mounting brackets made up. Just some angle with holes drilled in it. And since the spacing didn't work out with the frame, we extended these out past the end. And we're going to use another couple pieces of angle here. Get it out beyond there and put the holes right there. You definitely want to keep that pin in double shear. So we've got a piece of mystery metal here up on top for the winch mounting surface. Now I don't know where I got this. It was in some scrap. It's at least an 1/8 inch thick, and I think this piece might have been holding down part of my roof on the lean-to, but hey, it's getting drafted in the service now. And it should work good for holding down that winch. Now you've got pretty much a blank canvas here for whatever holes we got to drill, depending on which coupon we get for the Harbor Freight winch. We do unfortunately have to cut this lip off the back here, which is going to take some doing, but nothing that the cutoff wheel can't handle. The other benefit to putting the winch mounting surface up a little bit higher is it's going to give us a better angle to point down towards the plow to lift it up. If it's too low, you're going to be pulling it back at such a steep angle, it's going to take a lot to try and get that plow to come up. Now I'm kind of undecided on what pound winch we need. I think a 3000 or 3500 should actually be enough to lift the plow up pretty easily. I think the Snow Bear plows, they call them, they use an electric winch to raise and lower the plow. However, if the angle's too shallow or something's different in the geometry, we may need a little bit higher force to pull that up. Now you can do that with a snatch block down around the plow, and run it back to here. That'll double your advantage, but it'll be a lot slower. The other thing to think about is the brake that is on the winch. That brake needs to be able to hold the plow when it's in the up position. That alone may be worth going to a 5,000 pound winch on this, just so you have a heavier brake, hopefully, that holds it and it doesn't want to drift down on you. Now obviously this plate isn't going to be a standalone piece. You know, we're going to need some gussets in there to help support it and strengthen it. Now the key to this build is not using exact materials. You just need materials that are strong enough to withstand what you're building them for. I mean, for example, this piece of not really angle, I'm not sure what exactly it is. I'm pretty sure it fell off of one of my vehicles. I mean, when stuff falls off your vehicle, that's generally a good thing because it's weight savings. And the added benefit too is, you know, useful parts for making other stuff. That's like the ultimate in recycling. So there we got the top plate with the couple of underneath gussets in there. That should give us decent enough support. And if it bends, we'll add more angle iron. So continuing in the spirit of this project, we raided the scrap pile once again. Now here's the original, you know, hydraulic cylinder that was used to control the angle of the plow. And it's pretty heavy. We don't have a electric over hydraulic pump here to run that angle, so we're going to make our own angle. So these pipes here, we've got a 1-inch pipe in the back, 3/4 inch pipe in the front. We're going to chop it up and basically make a telescoping cylinder out of those pieces of pipe. Now I know you're thinking curved pipe doesn't telescope very well, but we only need a relatively short section of the straight here, so you know, about that much. I mean, you know, this was off like an old antenna or something. We can't let it go to waste. We got to keep it going in life. And besides, if we need to straighten out a little bit, that's nothing a hammer can't handle. So what we're going to do is replicate this cylinder here with these two pieces of pipe that slide into each other. We'll make it the same length, and what we'll do is we'll just drill a hole here, you know, through both pipes and drop a bolt or a pin through it, and we'll have like, you know, maybe 3 or 6 positions where the plow will be straight and angled off to the side either way. You just got to pull the bolts out, move the plow manually, drop the pins back in, and you're good to go. Rock on. So we had to do a little bit of grinding to get them to slide easy. So there we go, 2 manually adjustable cylinders. We're not going to drill the adjustment holes in the inner tube until we actually put it on the plow and see what kind of angles we're dealing with, and then we'll finish those off. Because remember, measure nonce, drill once. So we got the winch. Decided to go with the 5,000 pound model because that's what we got a coupon for. I mean, it seems fairly substantial, so I think it'll do the job alright, but time will tell. So we got most of the bracket finished up there. We just got to punch the holes in it for the winch. So there it is, mounted on the frame. And we got the winch mounted on there now. We kind of flipped it backwards so that the line would spool off of the top rather than out the bottom. So I'm trying to work on the brakes here and get those, you know, bled out or functioning again. And as I was, you know, messing around here, you know, trying to get the bleeder open or, you know, do something to bleed those brakes, I kind of was messing around. I noticed something here. Yeah, there's kind of a slight problem going on. The entire bracket for the leaf spring saddle has vaporized. Yeah, I think we gotta fix that. I don't know if you really want to run too long like that, but at least gravity's holding things together for now. I mean, I can't really remember exactly why this thing got taken off the road. I mean, those are just speed holes. Well, removal's definitely easy. I mean, that spring perch, we can get away with that for a while. I have a feeling we won't be able to reuse those U-bolts. That sway bar end link's really doing a good job. Just making it rain. So we got a couple of U-bolts that are not correct for the application, and some heavy pieces of steel stock that we chopped up. Not fit for the road, but fit for what we're going to do. I mean, it's better than the gravity assist hold down. Now, thanks to a long-term oil leak on this side, we didn't have that problem. So basically, we were able to reuse a couple of the existing threaded holes in the frame to bolt the bracket onto. Again, this might not be the most robust method, but it works, and we were able to tie into the pretty solid point of the frame. You know, what's left of it anyways, it hasn't rusted away. So there it is. Now we used the snatch block there to slow down the, lift and the let down of the plow. We've still got to put some bigger bolts in and the final pins and stuff. So with the pins out, you can change the angle. So we got the wiring, set up exactly like the instructions stated. The controller wire has some easy access to the passenger compartment. And we threw the fenders and the grill back on just for, make it look like a truck once again. So the frame's holding up pretty decent so far. It would have been nice to have some higher reinforcements going up to here, but there was no real solid structures on the truck. So we had to use, all we could underneath and just right at the front. Overall, the 5,000 pound winch seems to be plenty for this, so that's good. Hopefully it'll last a while since it's not heavily loaded. Still need to add a couple of little skid shoes on here to try and keep from digging up the gravel. And there's the adjustable little feet pads. We'll see how those hold up. Might have to extend them, but I think they'll work for now. Well, there it is, pretty much finished. I wouldn't trust it if it isn't rusted.